this video, we're going to be looking at a Bible that is put out by Tyndale Publishers. I've talked about how their recent Bible editions have been Filament App enabled, which essentially gives you Bible study materials on your phone or tablet along with the Bible so that you can study in more detail. And it's great because you have all those study notes on your mobile device. It doesn't take up space on the pages and create a hefty Bible. Now, one of the things that people are going to have different preferences on is translation. And Tyndale, a lot of their Bibles, their official translation for their publishing is the New Living Translation, which is very popular, but it's not for everybody. And so this is something else that is available from Tyndale Publishers. It's the King James Version. And I really like the fact that they are also making Bibles available with the Filament app in the King James Version, because there are many people out there who love the King James, prefer it, really maybe are drawn to it, and feel that it is the Bible for them. And therefore, if you want a King James Version and you want something that has the Filament app study material with it, this allows you to have that. So this is, I think, a really good thing for a lot of people. And the other thing about this one we're going to see is it is a journaling edition. The cover on this is called the dark brown medallion leather-like cover. So we'll take a look at the cover, what that looks like. But the box is a two-piece box. You'll see a little sample of the font on the side here. And it is an 8-point font inside the Bible for the biblical text. On the back here, it tells you about this particular Bible, its features, and the fact that it is Filament app enabled. So, very nice box for this Bible. This is kind of a mid-range, maybe a little more on the economical side Bible. So the cover we're looking at here is nothing incredibly fancy in terms of, being genuine leather or some high quality leather. However, it is a very nice looking cover. It is leather-like, and so it is an imitation leather that they did a very good job with, as you can see. That dark brown. Now, in this lighting that I have here, especially on the camera, it doesn't look super dark, but it is a pretty dark brown in person. The spine is a little different than what I've seen on a lot of Tyndale Bibles. This one actually, you have these tooled spine hubs, so they don't really stand out, but they're tooled in there, and they just create a nice even looking design with some decorative symbols there, some crosses. I think they're crosses. And then you have Tyndale on the top, Holy Bible in the middle, and KJV on the bottom. So again, wonderful to see a Bible like this in the King James Version as an option. You can also get something like this from Tyndale in the New Living Translation if you prefer that. But I wanted people to know that this King James edition is available. I know there are a lot of people out there that would be very interested in this. Another thing I like about this, and again, this is kind of mid-range, but not incredibly expensive, but still good quality here. We see that the liner is not a paper paste down. This has a more of a vinyl paste down construction, which I think is really great to see in a Bible like this. And when you get inside here, you have a title page. It is on glossy cardstock paper. Looks very nice. Then the verse that I think you'll see in a lot of Tyndale Bibles at the front, and this one going to be in the King James Version to go with the translation in here. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I grew up with the King James Version, and I just love the sound of it. I know many of you do too as well. Here's the title page. Then the publisher title page. This here allows you to scan with your Bible app on your phone or tablet, and link that study material with this particular edition of the Bible. So this is from Tyndale House Publishers, Carroll Stream, Illinois. And as you get in here, you look at the copyright information. It does say here that this is printed in China. 2023 looks like the first printing of this particular edition. The contents all listed out here. A little bit of front material, biblical books of the Bible, and then some back material as well. This tells you a little bit about the Filament app and how to use it, how to get started with it. Then you have the epistle dedicatory for the King James Version. So just a couple pages there. And then you get into the Old Testament. And this is the format. This is the font that we've been seeing from Tyndale Bibles recently. But the format itself, actually, the typesetting, is a little different. This is a single column, verse-by-verse format. So it's different from a lot of King James Bibles in that it's single column. A lot of King James Bibles that I've seen are double column. And a lot of other Bibles are double column. But this is single column, and it is a journaling edition. So you have the lines for journaling on the outside borders of the page. You also, again, have at the top here scannable page numbers. So when you link this Bible, as I showed you earlier with the Bible app, and you scan the page, it will actually give you the study materials that are pertinent to this page in the Bible. I think this format is obviously going to be wonderful for people who like to journal or like to have a Bible where they can have a good amount of space to write in the margins. In the bottom of the page here, I do see there are footnotes. So that's going to be at the bottom of the page, the footnotes. And it is an 8-point font, as I said earlier. I can't tell for sure if it's line matched. That I'm not sure about, but it looks to me like it is, if I had to guess. And it does have a clean look to the page. It's not necessarily the thickest paper I've felt. Might be around a 30 GSM, I'm just guessing. But it's not a lot of show through. And certainly really good for its purpose, which is to have something that is affordable and yet something you can go through and journal. And I know these kinds of Bibles, these journaling Bibles, are very popular with a lot of people. People who just, they get a lot more out of their Bible study when they write in their Bible. I know my wife does that. It's really helpful to her. So great to see that Tyndale Publishers is making this available in the King James Version, as I said, as one of the options with the Filament Bible app notes. So that is really great. And when you get into the poetry, it's still the same format. And I neglected to show you all of the physical features of this Bible earlier. You'll see here there is actually a ribbon. It's a single ribbon, and it's single-sided angle cut. So there's a sheen on one side of the ribbon. Looks like it's a brown ribbon to go with the brown cover. It's nice. It's an okay ribbon. I know a lot of people would prefer more than just one ribbon. So that'd be one thing that I think Tyndale would make customers happy with, is to have more ribbons in here. And I'm sure a lot of people would say they'd like to see a wider ribbon. To me, this one looks fine. I think maybe having 2 or 3 of these would be nice. But at least you do get one ribbon here, and the pages are gold gilt page edges. So I forgot to mention those things earlier. I'm so interested in this format, which, as you can see, is a really good looking format. Psalm 119, you have the acrostic, the Hebrew letters at the beginning of each stanza. The poetry is not really separated by stanza in most of the Psalms. It's just kind of continuing that very typical verse-by-verse format that we've seen in the other books of the Bible. So again, you look here in the prophets, verse by verse. All right, let's get to the end of the Old Testament. The last book of the Old Testament, Malachi. And then we have the New Testament title page. When you get into the New Testament, people always want to see, is it a red letter text for the words of Christ or black letter for the words of Christ? And it is red letter, which a lot of Tyndale Bibles, I believe, are red letter. And the important thing with red letter is, does it have consistent printing, and is it dark enough? To me, it looks like a fairly dark red. And it looks like the consistency is pretty good. So that's great to see, because if you're going to have red letter, that can be a point where people really are going to have strong opinions, especially if the red letter is not consistent in its hue. So that's red letter text in the New Testament for the words of Christ. And let's get to the end of the Bible here and see what we have. So after the book of Revelation, you have the Tyndale Verse Finder. So this covers different topics. It's not really like necessarily a typical concordance, maybe not as extensive as a concordance, but it still gives you good topics. And what I love about Tyndale Bibles is that they are really user-friendly. So even at the back here, if you're not familiar with the Bible, they give you the page numbers of where to find these Bible passages. So really geared for people that are just learning to navigate the Bible. After the Tyndale Verse Finder, you have some blank pages, a few of those, and then a visual overview of the Bible. And I've been seeing these in a lot of the Tyndale Bibles. They give you a nice visual representation of different parts of the Bible, how it all fits together. Kind of see it here in a really nice, visually appealing format. Great for all you visual people out there. And after the overview of the Bible, you have the final end sheet, paste down. And that's it. That is the Holy Bible King James Version from Tyndale. So again, if you're looking for a Bible that has the Filament app and you don't want the New Living Translation, you're more partial to the King James, this is something that is available. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or comments about this Bible. I'd love to see that. And thank you so much for taking a look at this with me from a fish perspective.